Complex Graps is emanating live from Atlanta, Georgia. We are here at the Nightmare Factory, and I'm joined, of course, by my co-host, Tim Han Rivera. I mean, the Eric Bischoff, the Vince McMahon, maybe even more specifically, the Paul Heyman of Subway Mania. I'm, of course, Jamie Iovine, the VP of Popular Culture at Complex, and here we are, our second episode of Complex Graps, and we're at the Nightmare Factory.
Bro, I cannot believe it. Like, the minute we found out we was gonna be here at the Nightmare Factory, I was already like, so I was geeking, bro. I'm hyped. Like,
we
we're
jumped
here.
on a plane. We jumped on our respective planes. You know, you flew it. Not so much of a flight for you. 2 hours.
2
you know,
hours.
not so much, but you know, I had to fly from LA. A little bit of a trek. So we're happy to do it, of course, for our upcoming guests. You know, we got to roll out the red carpet and come. You know, if he says come to my house, we're gonna come to his house.
Yeah, man.
So
Complex in your house, bro.
Exactly. So before we get into it, I want to be able to talk about, you know, what puts the bread on the table for us here at Complex, and that is, Tim, first off, tell me about that shirt you're wearing. What do you got going on over there?
Shout out the Complex shop. First of all, I got the Dirty Dom Chicken Tendies t-shirt. This is like literally one of my favorite shirts, bro. Like, honestly, my top 3 favorite shirts. Which one you got?
It was easily probably one of the best ones that we've put out for sure.
For
you
real.
know, Dom is
The real one is fire too.
It is.
The
It is.
Rhea,
The full face one.
Facts.
Yeah, that's definitely one that you got to check out. And I am currently wearing one from the first run we did. I can't really because the most of it is on my back, but this is, you know, it isn't 316 day yet, but it is never too early to celebrate the rattlesnake, in my opinion. So I got my Stone Cold Steve Austin Complex tee collab with the WWE and our friends at Fanatics, of course. And that being said, we got the pleasantries out of the way. We got a few things that we're going to touch on today. Of course, we've had SmackDown with last week. We just had Monday Night Raw, and we have, let's just get the cat out of the bag right now. Our special guest today is the current Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes, the American Nightmare, heading into WrestleMania as champ, which I don't think he's done yet. You know, he's challenged mostly, but I don't know if he's been champ at WrestleMania yet. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Bro, I feel like on my way over here, when I tell you, I felt the adrenaline in my soul, bro. So it's crazy. For our second episode, we got Cody Rhodes, man. I'm hyped.
I don't know if any in podcast history have we had the champion one week and then have the guy who beat him the following week. Bro. It's been great. We've had 2 champions of the same belt in a matter of a week. And, you know, all respect to Drew, you know, he was a great guest. We loved having him. Great first episode, yeah. I'd say, but you know, this is the name of the game.
Road to WrestleMania. Anything could happen, man.
Anything could happen. And as you guys saw on the most recent SmackDown, Cody won the championship, but we'll get into that, you know, in due time. First, let's get to the bottom of the show, which was
crazy SmackDown.
It was a crazy SmackDown. We had, you know, we started off with Cody's eventual, we didn't know at the time who he was going to challenge, but Randy Orton came out, and, you know, it was Randy Orton. You know, he basically made it known that he had competed in 20 WrestleManias and is only main evented 2, which if you look at the pedigree of Randy Orton, it's kind of crazy to think about, right?
He's a legend, bro. He's a legend.
Only 2.
Only 2.
In 2 decades.
Well, he's going to be facing Cody.
He's going to be facing
Cody this Mania, which is going to be crazy. Trick Williams ended up coming out on SmackDown.
And what was he wearing?
The lemon pepper steppers, man. But unfortunately, before he got
the word out.
Before he got the word out, the 3 letters, RKO, got him out of the ring, man. Randy's not playing.
Randy seems to have Trick's number for the past few weeks. You know? I mean, he kind of got in his head early on in the Elimination Chamber. And, you know, and obviously Trick didn't win that one, but, you know, Randy's, you know, he got his guaranteed title shot at WrestleMania, came out and made it known that he's going for Cena's record. You know, he wants to break the championship record. He didn't say it then, but he said it in past interviews. And, you know.
You think it's going to happen?
If anybody were to, you know, Cena and Orton were so tied together in their careers. You know,
those are the 2.
And if anybody were to do it, the Viper is certainly someone
I would
that
say
could see.
Cena and Orton is like the ruthless aggression like from that era is like Stone Cold and The Rock.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I feel like
Absolutely.
rightfully so. If Orton breaks Cena's record, I respect it.
Does
I
that
won't be mad at it.
does that does that I don't I
Will
don't
it
know,
happen
John.
though? I don't know.
I don't know, John, but does that kind of maybe he sees that and was like, maybe
Maybe come back out of retirement one more.
Maybe I could put on the jorts one more time and see if I could get just one more. And
throw one in one more time and AA.
and then there it is. And then it's at least tied. Why not just leave it tied?
Yeah, I feel like tying it would be cool.
Why not
But Randy
tie it?
definitely deserves it, man. Like all the eras, you know what I mean? Like from the Legend Killer, the Viper, and now, now he's gonna be facing Cody, which is
And now we got nice guy Randy.
Yeah, nice guy
Everybody likes
Randy.
But then down the going on further into the show, we of course have new women's tag team champions in the form of Nia Jax and Lash Legend, and that's a formidable. I mean, spade to spade, that's a formidable tag team.
Yeah.
I mean, whoever's going to knock those girls off, it's going to be real press to do so.
I'm happy for Lash Legend too, man. I feel like she's been working hard. Even like her performance at the Rumble was insane. So it's awesome to see her become tag team champions alongside with Nia Jax. So I'm excited for that.
I mean, off top, we already seen like a few people like entering their hats into trying to challenge for the championship, which whenever that happens, I assume it'll probably be at WrestleMania or down whenever it had the road is still going.
The road is still going. Anything like it's crazy. Anything can happen.
It's still
between
like
now and WrestleMania.
It's still like a little more than a month away.
Which is a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. That's a lot of TV time.
A lot of TV time.
And we're already got the talking formidable tag teams. We got Charlotte and Alexa Bliss, which is they have become quite an interesting duo.
They've been cool.
Yeah.
I feel like they're one of my favorites.
Yeah,
they have the chemistry, the dynamic. Charlotte's one of the GOATs in my opinion.
Yeah, and then they had a then I believe there was wasn't there a tag team turmoil match after that?
Tag team turmoil match.
Yeah, and it's always nice to see
we got a new tag team.
Yeah, well, that was on Monday Night Raw, is what was what you're thinking.
The tag team for Priest. And,
yeah, we'll get to that. No, so there wasn't one on SmackDown. So there was an interesting interaction after the Lash Legend and Nia Jax coronation, if you will, for their championships, and that is Rhea Ripley and Jade Cargill, the current champion, had their I think it was their first face-to-face.
Yeah, especially after the back and forth on Twitter.
Yeah, and we've talked
X. Now called X.
Yeah, I mean, I'm always going to call it Twitter. Anyway, we talked about this previously right before the show, and I had my thoughts on the goings on, what happened in that that segment, and you did as well. I want to hear what you thought about it first.
So me personally, I enjoyed the back and forth. I feel like it was good to see them finally come face to face. You saw the stuff on X, and it's the road to WrestleMania. So seeing Rhea Ripley come out, she said that Jade's body is all for image and Rhea's body is all for fighting. So I popped for that. I was like, all right, cool. Like this is going to be interesting. I feel like we're going to really see these two throw down. And to me, it's personal. It's not just competing for the championship. Like it's personal. We're going to see who's the toughest and the strongest. And it's going to be epic, man. I think Rhea, you had mentioned it last week, Rhea is going to be Miss WrestleMania.
Nah, you bit my line.
I gave you the credit. I said that's literally that. I agree with you.
Miss WrestleMania, Miss Ripley. Yes, I have dubbed her Miss WrestleMania because, as we said, this is her seventh.
It's true.
Like main. She hasn't main evented, but this is her most seventh high profile WrestleMania match in a row. So I think Shawn Michaels got some company up there. In terms of Mr.
I could imagine Jade though. I'm feel like this is her moment.
This is her moment, as we talked about.
Moment.
We talked about this last week, and I was a little, considering what we had seen on social media, it was one of those things that WWE does really well when they, when everything I know, like everything I know I've seen, like, you know, is like there's showmanship to it, but whenever there's something in there that you see like that's like, okay, that looked real, like that looked like they want to fight, like in legitimate, like off camera, like they meet each other in the street, you know, like, but I didn't see that when we got to the promo. I mean, they talked about their bodies essentially, and they said pretty much may the best woman win, which is fine. You know, it's not. It's not.
They shook hands too.
They did shake hands,
but you could tell, like, you know, it's.
I'm just thinking maybe they dialed it back a little bit. You know, I think maybe someone in the higher ups said, "Ladies, you need to chill." You know, like this is like getting a little too personal. Like we don't want you to. We don't want any blood before the
Remember,
match.
Like you said, we got a month, so I feel like it's nothing. We don't know what Jade is gonna do. I feel like this is her heel run.
And yeah, and I think Jade's got a lot to prove. I think Rhea is an established star, in my opinion, the biggest star on the women's roster, and like maybe in like one of the biggest stars in the company. You know, like across all genders. And you know, Jade has had her ups and downs in the company in terms of false starts. You know, she debuted at the Rumble, went away for a little bit, then she came on the main roster once again, got injured, and is back now. Currently the champion, but in terms of performing in a championship match on a main stage at WrestleMania, it's not her first WrestleMania, but this is her first big WrestleMania where she's a featured like champion.
She's got a lot to prove.
A lot.
She has a lot.
I mean, she's going in with one of the best. So, you know, I mean, you couldn't have asked for a better dancing partner.
I'm personally excited about it. So
it'll be one of the.
I feel like it's gonna be low key, like a really good match.
It'll be the one to look for sure.
It's gonna shock a lot of people. People are like, wow, I didn't even know that match was gonna cook. Yeah, it cooked.
Yeah, I mean, it's cooking. It's like two superheroes. You know, two Wonder Women. You know, like I don't know who another person. Like that's the only comparison I get to both of them. So like,
I mean, we shall see who takes the cake, right?
Exactly.
Who you got though? I feel like we gotta.
In terms of who we think.
Yeah, Rhea or Jade.
I think if I were a betting man, you know, I think Rhea winning, people would love to see, and you know, people back mommy all the time. You know, like she's everybody's favorite. I think if Jade wants to cement her dominance in the company, which is I think what a lot of people are looking for her to do, I think she needs to win this at WrestleMania. I think it would benefit Jade more. Yeah. To win as opposed to going down a route we've seen a few times before. Not to give it not like nobody wants it, but you know, it's happened, you know.
I agree. But I feel like mommy's always on top.
Oh,
I'm going for Rhea Ripley, man. Let's do it. Let's do it.
It's entirely possible. You know, and it could go either way. This is one I can't put an exact proclamation on. Moving on the show, once again, my favorite segment of the night, you know, because as made it very clear, I'm a big Danhausen fan. I'm a Fanhausen. And once again, popped up backstage, this time talking to Nigel. Not Nigel, I'm sorry, wrong show. Not Adam Pearce. Nick Aldis. I'm terrible at that. I'm so terrible. I don't like why Nick's name just escaped my brain for a second. But he approached Nick Aldis this time and had his list of demands once again, and happened to be there a man who's, first off, like, which I think is fantastic, is the Miz is trying to cement himself almost like the new Undertaker, you know, like as the new leader of the locker room. Like if there was still Wrestle Court, that he would be the judge, which I think is hysterical.
Right? I feel like I love the direction that they're doing with Danhausen.
Yes.
Like he's coming in, he's cursing people, and they're getting cursed. It's like
2-0.
Yeah, exactly, 2-0. And then I heard that the merch is doing good. A lot of people are getting behind him. Yeah. And he's proven all the haters wrong.
Yeah,
man.
boy. I
feel like he's gonna have and 2026 just started. So I feel like he's gonna have a really strong year, and he's gonna surprise a lot of people, including us. We're gonna be like, wow, I didn't even know he could do this. So
he hasn't even been in the ring yet.
Yeah. So,
and I think, you know, I think it just like goes to show that you need to let things sit for a second, especially in wrestling. I mean, fans are so quick to, you know, and I've been guilty of this as well. I think we all have in the past. Is something that, you know, that is different.
It's change.
I mean, because, you know, we're fans, you know, but we're deeper into that whole world. And, you know, we've seen Danhausen. We know what he's about. We knew that when he was coming that it was going to be, you know, interesting. But, you know, by and large, a lot of WWE fans didn't know who he was. And you had this giant box. Everybody's saying it's going to be Chris Jericho, and then it comes out it's Danhausen, which I don't think Jericho would have ever dared to come out of a box. But I think he's proving a lot of people wrong. You got to let things sit. You got to let them tell the story. You can't kill the story before you get to page one. And you know, I think now we're seeing he's getting reactions. People are popping for him, so to speak. And he's the #1 t-shirt seller on WWE Shop right now.
And I love how he's going beyond the ring. You know, he's going online and he's creating posts talking about where's Stone Cold, where's this, where's that. You know, so it's like
still the GM.
That's what I love about when they do that. It's like you're building the character and you're continuing to build that momentum outside of just like Monday Night Raw or Friday Night SmackDown. You're going online, you're staying in character, and Danhausen is a gem, man. I'm glad that the company picked him up, and he's gonna do a lot of big things, man. I feel it.
What better pairing than to put him and The Miz together?
And it's a breath of fresh air too.
Yes.
The Miz is a legend. Like
The Miz is a legend.
I feel like anybody, for the most part, that he's been paired with, he has chemistry.
He's improved a lot. I mean, he's improved a lot of people. I mean, in my opinion, The Miz, I think in a lot of people's opinion, The Miz is the most underrated legacy guy not legacy, but like when I say legacy,
I get what you mean,
like
though.
Not like he has people, like his dad was a wrestler, but like in terms of the legend.
His career,
like, he's been a legend. He's been around for a long time. And
he's paired with a lot of people too.
And he's made it work. I mean, look what he did with Carmelo Hayes. You know, like he was kind of floundering for a little bit. Now he's the United States champion. And, you know, Miz with Danhausen, I think is perfect. They're going to be hysterical together. They're just the interactions already are amazing. And, you know, whoever decided to make those two dancing partners, so to speak, it's like
that came out of left field because I wasn't even expecting that.
But
it was like when it happened, I was like, genius.
It makes
this
so
is
much
genius.
sense. And I can't wait to see what they do. The Miz is great at that whole. His comedy level is great, and that's the whole Danhausen is comedy. So.
I hope something happens where unexpectedly they just win the tag team championships. I cannot wait to see the reaction online. Could you imagine? That is gonna be awesome. I'm gonna be hyped for that.
I'm wishing. I'm wishing. Then, you know, somebody who was not wishing to be in a certain position, you know, ever since Johnny Gargano's partner Tommaso Ciampa left the company, he's been a little down in the dumps.
Yeah,
he hasn't been himself.
Boy is sad, man. He got the winter blues.
Yeah,
he got the winter blues, man.
And, you know,
Oba Femi
just sleeping all over, I mean, face down, literally everywhere he goes.
Bro, it's so funny. I'm like, it's like Johnny Gargano, man. Great wrestler, but he's also funny too. Like when he has, you know, those little jokes, I'm like, he's funny. But
you give him room, he'll fly. You know,
exactly.
Like he will. And I think this one was a particularly interesting segment. You know, of course, Johnny is backstage in his feelings, so to speak. And Candice LeRae, his wife, walks in, you know, snaps him out of it, has the best intentions, you know, like, come on, you're Johnny Gargano, you know, like
you got to give you that pep talk.
Sometimes you need a strong woman, you know, like to get you back out of your sulk,
out of the winter blues,
out of your poor me sensibilities. And he got in the ring in his clothes, you know. She didn't think he would challenge somebody then, but he did. Got in his full like dress. I mean, he wasn't like dressed like in a suit, but like
not street clothes.
Clothes. You know, he wasn't.
He was like, I want something now.
He's gonna fight someone
was
now.
in his soul.
And you know, you would think he would know by now that whenever you do an open challenge in the WWE, it doesn't always go your way. More often than not, it doesn't. And you know, the worst from his standpoint, the worst possible person answered that.
The Oba Femi.
Oba Femi.
I know Johnny was panicking, that entrance, where they're like,
his face.
Oba. Got body bag, bro.
Dude, and like, you know, Oba made it look easy, as he has been for the past few weeks. And God, I mean, they're doing everything right with him right now.
Mhm.
They're showing how dominant he could be. I mean, you don't even have to show.
Bro.
I mean, like, you don't have to talk about it. You know, like you get one look at him, and
Mhm. It's so interesting how the fans chant Oba the same way like they chanted for Goldberg. It was like
Yeah.
Goldberg, Oba. But like
It's
you
a
would
little like that.
think that that's all like was all written out, planned, but it's just like the fans just get behind it, they get creative, and it adds to the character. The walk,
Oh
I
my
would have
God, the
never.
walk.
Like if I was doing or even me playing the video game 2K26 or something, if I'm
Yeah.
creating my wrestler, I would have never thought to like, all right, let me do my entrance like that and create the walk. You know what I mean?
Like it's one
It's
of those
perfect.
it's one of those like amazing things in wrestling that you're just like nobody probably told him to do that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but he was just like, this is like my beat, the beats of my song kind of like
It goes
with the
the
march,
fans
and like,
chanting.
and when I first saw Oba Femi's entrance for the first time, because granted, like I hadn't seen too much of Oba on NXT, but then when I saw him challenge Cody at main event,
Mm-hmm.
and he did the strut, I was like, superstar,
Bro, literally.
right there.
And in the beginning,
Immediate.
he spits out the water or something, like, or he does something similar.
One of the best entrances produced, I think, currently on the roster right now.
And his ring work is
impeccable.
good.
He's
Yeah,
great.
he's great.
He's great. And I mean, it's not this year, but next year, main eventer, I would not for WrestleMania.
They still
I
got to
would not
build
be
them little by
surprised.
little, but he's doing his thing, man. I'm hyped for.
He is, and you know, kudos to Oba, kudos to Johnny. You know, he gave it a shot, but you know, there's al's next week, right?
Say, hopefully he got some motivation though, cause
Yeah, you know, at least got to get the ring rest off.
you got to get in your ring gear, bro. You can't wrestle in street clothes.
All right, main event on SmackDown. We had the defending champion, our previous guest, Drew McIntyre, facing Cody Rhodes for the Undisputed Championship. This is something that Drew has been trying to make not happen for weeks. He's done everything he possibly could to avoid it. And it costing Cody the Rumble, cost him the Chamber. Finally, the higher ups had enough, like I mentioned, and they said right after, it was that night after the match, after the Chamber, it said that all this said, you're gonna face Cody for the championship on SmackDown.
There's some talk too. They saying that wasn't in the contract. So, you know, fans online, they're like, yo, you could fight that. You know what I mean?
You could, and theoretically, you know, Nick had like he had an explanation as to why. He's like, you know, you kind of both great.
That's legendary.
I mean, both great efforts from both of them. You know, Drew brought his A game. He tried to leave immediately during in the first part of the match, which, you know, I don't know where he was going to go in his car.
Drew, man. Good old Drew. And he came on the show last week and was talking his smack to Cody too, man.
He thought, you know, as any champion should be, you know, he was fairly confident. You know, he thought he was going to walk out of there again and face Drew at WrestleMania, but
karma came back for Drew because Jacob.
Yeah, that's right.
Jacob
had to run in
back,
from Jacob Fatu. Drew, you know, put Cody through a table, and then, you know, was gonna blast him one more time with a chair. And, you know, the Samoan werewolf had other plans, you know, a little Samoan guardian angel on his side.
Drew costed Jacob Fatu's opportunity to compete at the Elimination Chamber.
You know,
you really thought Drew really thought he was gonna get away with that and let Jacob sit out and just like, all right, I'm gonna let him do his thing. He came back and was like, nah, I'm costing you the championship,
man,
bro.
you know, when you're on the rise, you know, you got to watch out for everybody that you stepped on getting up there, right? You know, and Drew stepped on a lot of people.
Cody got to be careful too. Cody can't get too comfortable with Jacob. Like, all right, everything's cool.
See, that's the thing. I don't know if Cody's ever comfortable. The kind of guy he is. I think he came into the company even when he came back from his tenure on the Indies and the other company, and then you know, making a name for himself. And then when he came back and wrestled Seth, I think even from then on, without a championship, I think he had that he was the guy to watch. I think that he knew that a lot of people want to make a name for themselves beating him.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, like any champion, bro. Once you have that strap, that championship around your waist, you are not a friend no more. You are the enemy.
Yes,
you know what I mean.
And to a lot of people that may be your friends. Let's see how long that lasts. Right?
And now, like, you know, we got Randy and Cody, really good friends. You know, Randy mentored Cody during Legacy. So it's like, I'm sure that respect is there, but Randy right now, especially during the road to WrestleMania, this point in his career, he's not trying to be friends, man.
Nah, Randy's
At least I would assume he's not trying to be friends. He's out. He's the Viper.
I mean, we saw an inkling of it at Chamber. You know, Randy
Mm-hmm.
did not hesitate to put Cody in the dirt at the Chamber after Drew ran in. Did not hesitate one bit. And I think, you know, that's if you want to see a preview of the energy he's bringing to WrestleMania, especially in the main event, I think that's it.
Bro, the Mania, oof, Cody, Randy, it's gonna be epic.
And so we're getting into, so yeah, as we mentioned, I mean, we had a new champion, Cody Rhodes. Congratulations to the American Nightmare. And, you know, he's heading in as champion. And, you know, we had Monday Night Raw this week, as every week. And, you know, that was quite an interesting show as well on the road. There's a lot of moving parts going on. And one of the biggest moving parts right now is the masked men, led by Seth Rollins. You know, he made his return at Elimination Chamber, and he was called to the ring by Adam Pearce, and you know, trying to get some order in it, because the masked men, because it was just one, it was just one.
Now there's men.
Now there's a whole squad of masked men, and you know, we still don't know if Seth is cleared or anything for WrestleMania. We don't know what his end game plan is here. You know, he's trying to, you know, he's definitely got the vision in his. When I say the vision, that the team, the vision in his crosshairs.
He got the vision.
You know, and you know, it lucky for him that, you know, half the vision is injured right now. You know, you got the two big players, you know, Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed are on the shelf. You know, Seth, ever the opportunist, that was the perfect time to strike, you know, and now Paul Heyman has just been listed as out indefinitely.
Yeah, he's out, man.
And like, we don't know when
he's in the hospital right now.
And we don't know when he's coming back.
Oh, I hope he got really good insurance, man. Like, he's, you know, he's in the house. He's been in the hospital for like a week now, man.
Yeah.
That bill's gonna be crazy.
Yeah. I mean, one of the last things he did was he cursed me and you, man.
Yeah. Yo, the last time I saw Paul Heyman, he cursed out Jamie and cursed out me. So
you know, there's a lot of karma going around in the WWE right now. We're not in the WWE by any stretch of the imagination, but you know,
in the wrestling streets, though, man.
We are in the streets, and so to speak. And so Seth Rollins came in, then chased her. I mean, got the vision to come out, the remaining members. Then you had LA Knight. Then you had the Usos chase away the vision, and still don't know what's going on with Seth. But then the Usos mentioned backstage that, you know, they were trouble. They had something on their mind for later on in the night, and we would later see that. But going back in, we had this was off camera, which I wish it wasn't, but it was good for digital. We had Danhausen come into the ring and hand out a bunch of T-shirts and do a T-shirt giveaway. And Danhausen's been doing the Batman like exit where they turn and then they look back and he's gone, like where they're like, oh, where'd he go? But it's such a great little caveat to, I mean, not caveat, but like a little cherry on top to his presentation is they, like, when he was finished, they did the blackout. And you know, when you bring the lights back on, he's not supposed to be,
the
he's gonna be
Undertaker.
gone. The Undertaker. But when they bring the lights back on too early, and you see Danhausen sprinting to the back, which again,
was it too early or was it part of the?
Well,
you know,
theoretically it was supposed to be too early, but I thought
it was part of the gimmick. You
oh
know?
my god! When you see just like his little cape, just like running. Oh man, it was genius. I loved that so much. And then so we had a gauntlet match to decide the challenger for the Intercontinental Championship, the Women's Intercontinental Championship that's currently held by Miss AJ Lee. And you know, it was a very, very, very good showcase of the women's division on Raw, in my opinion. You know, there was Ivy Nile, they had Bayley, we had Asuka, we had, you know, there was a lot of people in that match that really, you know, stepped up. And
I like those type of matches, man.
Yeah, gauntlets are fun. We haven't seen too many of those lately. And
I'm glad that they started doing that more now. It keeps people on their toes.
Yeah.
Like, oh, who's next, you know?
Yeah. And then, you know, the winner of the gauntlet was Bayley. Bayley and AJ are going to challenge. It's next week, I think, right?
Yeah, I believe so.
On Raw for the championship, which, you know, we still haven't decided, which I mentioned on the show. It's so surprising to me, like, because we don't know AJ Lee's contract's like situation with the company, like how often she's going to be on TV, and the fact that already next week she's going to be having her first challenge is, you know, it's interesting.
It's cool because I remember one of the last times AJ Lee was on Raw. you know, or was it SmackDown? I'm not sure, but she always wore Bailey's shirt. You know, I'm a hugger. So I feel like that's a full circle moment for Bailey. And, you know, they're both at a different point in their lives. They're more, especially Bailey. Bailey's way more experienced now.
Yeah.
She's WWE OG, I would say.
Oh yeah.
AJ Lee's an OG and she's back. You know, we would have never thought we'd see AJ Lee now. And we're going to get that match. So I think that's going to be, I would say, I believe they wrestled before.
They
but
did.
It's
Yeah,
different
long
now,
time
though.
ago.
It's different now.
They
I
were
would say
entirely
this
different
is
people.
another dream, like, you know, a dream match in this era, this version of them. So I'm excited to see. I feel like it's going to be, they're going to cook.
They're going to cook for absolutely. I mean,
Mhm.
once again, AJ's been put in with a lot of great talent. You know, she won the championship against Becky. You know,
Which is awesome.
I'm not only saying it. You know, Sports Illustrated said it as well. You know, the
Mhm.
best women's wrestler on the roster right now, and then now she's facing Bailey, who, you know, will go down as one of the greatest. You know, like, and it's gonna be a great match. And poor CM Punk, you know, because CM Punk is friends with Bailey, like
Yeah,
really
you
good
gotta
friends.
pick. I
with
mean,
her.
you gotta stand by wifey, man.
yeah.
You can't.
I mean, me and you know, man, you go against the missus, like it's not.
Yeah, man. This moment, don't talk to Bailey. Don't give her no advice. Just stick with wifey.
Don't look at her
man.
that day.
Yeah, don't.
Don't look at her.
Yeah, don't look at her.
You look at
man.
your phone until you hear that bell. Then you.
I think AJ's gonna win though. AJ's gonna take the cake.
I think AJ needs to walk into WrestleMania as Intercontinental Champion, and and I'm excited. You know, I'm not trying to cast Bailey aside by any stretch of the imagination. The match hasn't happened yet, but I do want to see who they would cement as the Intercontinental Championship challenger at WrestleMania. Because that's going to be what's interesting. I mean, again, I'm not casting Bailey aside whatsoever. She would make a great Intercontinental Champion as well. She would make a phenomenal champion.
Yeah.
But in terms of the story that AJ Lee needs to,
Yeah, AJ gotta keep it. But again, like we just saw on SmackDown, you never know.
you never know.
Never know, man. That title could change.
And
We got a new champ.
you know, we got to pay the bills once again. So of course, you see the shirts we're wearing. We don't mean to digress. We're not Digress Jones in here. But we do have to pay the bills. You know, we got to keep these very bright lights on. So we got to, you know, we got the shirts on. There's so many more that you can possibly get at the Complex shop and on WWE shop as well. But you should get it on Complex. You could get these and so many other incredible shirts. We're making them all the time. We got more coming out. They're going to be in the WWE video game, which is real cool. You get your creator wrestler wearing them. You can even change the attire to the current WWE stars to wear them. You know, like you get Dirty Dom to wear that.
Dirty Dom, yo. I would say, guys, one of my favorites is the Rhea Ripley tee, the Penta tee. The Dirty Dom tee. The Dudley Boys one is low key fire.
I almost wore the Dudley.
Yeah, I was gonna wear that too. That's why I asked you.
Yeah.
And there's just so many tees, bro. It's awesome. Eddie Guerrero, just
that Austin jacket.
Austin jacket. We got the NWO hat, like
NWO hoodie.
Just check the website, and I'm telling you, you're gonna spend a lot of time, and you're gonna say you're gonna go for one shirt, you're gonna leave out of there with like 3 or 4. I promise you.
There's a sleeper hit Roman Reigns one on there that I highly suggest you getting if you're going in as a Roman Reigns fan into WrestleMania. But we'll put our fingers up for the acknowledge the OTC. But so going back into it once again, we have the original Grande Americano, right?
Americano.
The OG one, the one that doesn't speak as much Spanish as the new Grande Americano, but you know he came first, so he is the original. He's the original, and this was on camera. Ran into our old friend Danhausen.
Hell, he be cursing people.
People need to start realizing they need to tread lightly.
Yeah.
If Danhausen asks you for something, you're better off acquiescing to that ask. You know,
you're like Danhausen's like, yeah, I'm spiritual. Everyone's spiritual. Yeah, I'm.
Danhausen says, let me hold a few, and then you gotta be like, all right, you got it. And all he wanted was. He wanted to touch his mask. He wanted to have a mask, you know, and you know, of course, luchador tradition. You do not touch the mask. Danhausen took that as a slight, to him, and of course, cursed the original Grande Americano. And I love the background shit they do when they're shooting stuff backstage that you see like things happen in the background, like people talking or like Easter eggs and stuff. You see those two, the new Grande Americanos on like his henchmen, like they were.
They're just there on the side.
They were like creeping up on him, and so off screen we are to assume that the original Grande Americano was taken out, result of a curse or just a coincidence. We'll let you decide at home. And for the first, Penta came in as his first challenge to defend his championship for the first time, his Intercontinental Championship. And it was supposed to be with the original. We got the new one. People were like, this is different, but all right. And once again, those two did not disappoint.
Yeah, man. Penta, first of all, again, I'm so happy Penta is the Intercontinental Champion. That was his first time wrestling with the champion, and
in the company.
You know, he deserves it. 100% deserves it.
Worked
and also,
hard.
yeah, exactly. No, Penta, if you followed him in the indies, he literally worked hard. So I feel like it was a full circle moment. And yeah, man. But even the second El Grande Americano, awesome. Chemistry's there.
Like both Grandes are great, you know, but you know, like if you know, like, you know, who may be donning the mask at that certain point, you know, they're just really delivering.
Bro,
both of them.
It's interesting. I don't know if you watch AAA on Saturdays. Yeah. So the crowd reaction is different. Like, so you got like El Grande Americano in Mexico, like they love him. And then I guess like sometimes when he comes to the States, he gets booed, you know? So
he's a massive star in Mexico.
Yeah, massive, bro. It is literally insane.
Yeah, I see the reactions they give him.
He gets that Conan pop from the early years. It's really, really big. And then Chad, the original El Grande Americano, I think he gets booed, and then here he gets cheered. So it's cool, man. But those great gimmick, the El Grande Americano.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
his henchmen.
it's one of those things that you, like I mentioned before, you have to let breathe. You know, when you first saw Grande Americano, you're like, what is this? You know, he's from the Gulf of America.
Yeah.
and it worked. And you're thinking, but now there's a new person under the mask. They made that work, and then it worked even better.
Yeah, even better, because he speaks Spanish now.
Yeah.
So he's able to communicate with the fans in Mexico or, you know, in California, West Coast.
I think he's got a Spanish girlfriend now, too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro, he speaks great Spanish, bro. I speak Spanglish.
Yeah.
He speaks better than me.
You know, and the match was great. You know, it was definitely not one that I expected to. I mean, it's not that I didn't expect greatness out of both of them, but it was, you know, I didn't think I was going to be watching. You know, there's been some real workhorse matches in the past few weeks on TV, on live TV. So I think it's been, I mean, on regular television instead of PLE. So, you know, we've been blessed.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're on the road to WrestleMania.
Everybody, you know, because the card there's only been what, 2, 3.
Bro, if you think about it, last week we got a title change on Raw and then a title change on SmackDown, all in 1 week.
Yeah.
Right? Or Penta won last week, or was it 2 weeks ago?
Penta won last, not this most. Well, he's a champion now, but like the last.
Yeah, but so it was the same week. Like he
messing up our guest microphone.
He won.
But then this one we saw coming for a long time. Speaking of Penta, last week who he beat for the Intercontinental Championship was the man on your shirt, Dirty Dom Mysterio.
Chicken tendies.
Dom Mysterious, as Danhausen calls him. And
I didn't even catch that.
Called him Dom Mysterious.
Yo, I thought yo.
And
Danhausen, bro.
One thing that was mentioned, one thing that was, you know, a part of that match that was so instrumental and key to the end result was, you know, I think it was JD or somebody was going to throw in a ring bell.
Yeah,
hammer,
the ring.
And you know, interfere on Dom's behalf to make sure that Penta didn't win. And you know, Finn's been on another wavelength lately. You know, and he's been, you know, trying to become the Finn of old. You know, but he still is tied to his Judgment Day team, you know, like he hasn't not been part of, he's not like claiming repping Judgment Day.
Like he's second guessing though. It's like, you know, when there comes a time, man, where you you got to start second guessing your circle, you know.
And Judgment Day has given them plenty reason to second guess, but you know, Finn stopped him. Finn was like, "Nope, you need to win this on your own. Let's have this a fair match," which, you know, is not usually in the Judgment Day playbook at all, and to say the least. And A lot of people were surprised that he stopped them, and it did eventually, lead to Penta winning the Intercontinental Championship. Fast forward to this most recent Monday Night Raw, we have a very unhappy Judgment Day.
Yep.
Very unhappy Judgment Day. And we had Dom, Liv, and Raquel in the ring. Noticeably absent JD. I thought JD would be in there as well. But, the three of them called out Finn, said we need to talk about some things. And Dom was upset, as he often is. He likes to make it known his opinions about things. And he comes and calls out Finn, who's with JD.
Yeah, so that's his boy. They're boys.
Yeah.
They literally was on the grind together, right?
Yeah, and then Finn brought JD into the company, apparently. So...
Am I live?
Wow. No way, bro.
We have a surprise running.
There's two of you. It's a gift for your new show. So I don't know who's
Thank you, man.
Thank you. I don't know if you have to cut that or what. Are we live? Is it happening now?
Oh,
I love that.
The American Nightmare.
The American Nightmare, ladies and gentlemen.
Love the
Cody
suit, man.
Rhodes.
Oh, thank you guys.
Undisputed champion, sir.
How you feeling?
you?
I feel great. I didn't
gotta
have
shake
time.
your hand, man.
Yeah,
I gotta,
nice
to meet you, man.
Absolute pleasure, man. I didn't have time to change the plates. And I just saw it, and I thought, oh, that's a little bit. It almost feels petty, but I didn't mean it.
It almost looks like you're
I got a
trying to say
screwdriver.
something.
No. They didn't bring me. They didn't have time because that was where were we? Portland. The nature of the Friday nights on the West Coast, where you get into it and then race to the airport or race wherever you're headed. And so I actually think this might surprise you. I actually think I'm gonna give them to him personally.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because you fight with somebody on screen, behind the scenes, or whatever. You're like consistently in competition with your peers all the time. After a while of button heads, I think you end up kind of liking each other.
Yeah.
I don't know if we're there yet, but that might be my olive branch. Because for other guys, these things go missing, and then you're like, hey, I'd like that.
Yeah.
30 years from now, or my kids would like that. So. Congratulations on your new show.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it,
Second
man.
guest, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you for having us in
Yeah.
this incredible facility. Making the
as
future
soon as I
stars
came
that are
in-
being made here.
As soon as I came in,
Yeah.
I was like, bro, I've never been inside something like this.
It's a good deal here. It's a big space. And the guys who help operate the building and stuff, we have 2 rings, and there's plenty to do. And whenever kids come in here, people train. So a lot of people from WWE who come here, and just
Nice.
that's kind of the policy, is just let me know, and doors open, and
That's
they
love.
work on the things they need to work on. So yeah, it's a good thing to have right now. I don't know what I'm really doing with it though.
I was
you
gonna
know?
slide in and hit a 450.
Did you?
No.
No?
I was
Oh, I
going
was
to.
gonna say,
I don't
man,
even know if
you're
I could
talking
do
all-
it,
bro,
but I
Talking
felt
like he was about to.
inspired.
I mean, he's kind of undelivered on that.
I was gonna hit a DDT on Jamie, the Jake the Snake DDT.
How often? I know he's been in the ring plenty. How often have you been in the ring?
I've only been in the ring like one time. I don't wrestle. I just wrestle on the subway.
I feel like a 450 is maybe not where you want to start.
It's a lofty.
But
I felt the adrenaline in my soul as soon as I
Yeah,
came
man,
in.
it fills you up. You could hit it in here, maybe. I mean, they're cable ropes. I just definitely wouldn't recommend that out the gate. But
You got crash pads.
we
right?
do have a pad.
Okay,
Yeah,
great, great.
Most people on a 450 or on a shooting star, the first couple of times, it either goes they absolutely nail it, and you thought like, oh man, what an athlete, or they never even get close to it. Like a shooting star ends up just being somebody jumping on their back or landing on their feet. Even 450s are even more.
I did it in the pool when I was like 14.
Dude.
And I was like, all right, cool. I think I got this. And then the second time I did it, like my whole side was red, and I was like swimming like this. And I was like, I'm never doing that again.
A lot of wrestlers from the Panhandle area, Georgia, Alabama, Florida. That's how they would train initially. The Armstrongs trained that way. The brothers would just be hip tossing each other into the beach. I don't know if that's lore, but I actually believe it. If Road Dogg or Brad Armstrong, who I grew up idolizing, God bless his soul. Like they, that's how they did it.
Hey, as a wise man once said, never let the truth get in the way of a good story.
That's right.
But
That's right.
I see you got the 2020s here, man. You're training these guys for the main show here. Most like training facilities have.
I love how you said the 2020s. 20 by 20. Yeah. No. Well, I mean, that's. I always tell people who ask me on the road, "Hey, I want to get into it," and I never want to sell what we're doing here, but I usually do tell them the first thing is, if you walk in and it doesn't look good, that's maybe a good sign right there. There's no reason to train, especially with the level of high spots and action and just overall aggressiveness of modern wrestling in 2026. You don't need to train in a boxing ring.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you don't need to. You'll end up just getting hurt, and then what gets hurt is your spirit overdoing this. I'm a big believer. If you, I mean, I don't want to say this and it sound wrong, but I'm a big believer. If you're gonna get hurt or injured, do it on TV when you're actually in it versus in a wrestling school. You know,
That's fair.
yeah,
That's fair. But Cody, again, we're so glad to have you here. I mean, it's just like being here in your home. I mean, in your hometown, and like being.
Thanks for coming.
Like it just
for the
feels
invite.
you feel it in the soil here, which I think is what you were going for when you built this place.
Yeah.
And but we got to talk about the road to WrestleMania, your main event, and basically what you had to do to get there. The guy we were just talking about, Drew McIntyre, the former champion, pretty much did everything within his realm of possibilities to stop you. Like it cost you the chamber, cost you the Rumble, and it looked like you weren't gonna get that shot.
Sure.
And you reap what you sow. Through various circumstances, you were given one more chance.
Yes.
And
Various circumstances.
Sami
Sami Zayn had issues with the various circumstances.
Boy, did he.
Yeah, he.
Boy, did he.
I do like a backstage chat with Sami. I think maybe it's a meme of the Busta Rhymes with the duck talking to the dog. You know what I'm
God.
talking- It's usually I didn't think that at all, but then when I watched the show back this week and he was up in my ear, I kept seeing it in my mind because that's like a number one thing. If you have kids, it's like in your algorithm a lot because they are out of nowhere with so many questions.
He was talking at you. He was. It wasn't some. He wasn't looking for
talking at me, but maybe working some stuff out himself.
Yeah, he's going through something for sure right now, and we wish him the best. But I mean, when you're coming for you, you got to swing, and I mean, maybe not literally, but
I feel like I've distracted you from your question.
Not at all.
I just now I'm thinking about how good. I hope you have Sami on the show.
We would love to have Sami.
Sami is legit magical, and I feel like I watch moments. Wrestlers are all, hey, everything revolves around me. The world's your emotions and how all the efforts you put in and your sacrifices. So it can be very selfish in its thoughts. And lately I've felt just kind of look at the lay of the land. I always look at it too lately from the perspective of, I wonder if I was, planning this show, what would I do? Or who would I really like? Or who could I count on? Man, he's special. Like he's still the way he wrestles his matches, and even when a crowd is a little subdued for the moment, or if they're red hot, I don't know. You've got me thinking about not just that Busta Rhymes clip, but Sami in general. He is very good. Back to Drew McIntyre.
I often have Busta Rhymes on my mind.
Yeah, right.
But just a little cherry on top to that conversation, that thing you just said. For a while, I was there for that first initial NXT match with Sami and Nakamura when Nakamura made his debut.
Yeah,
and that for me, for a lot of people, like when I'm trying to get people indoctrinated into this business, that was the match I would show them.
Interesting.
It was because it's a sleeper, and you don't know who, and they often probably didn't know who either of them were.
Full Sail, right?
It was at Full. No, it was in. I think it was in Texas.
Okay.
I think it was at one of the takeovers.
Those takeovers were the thing.
Back in the gold era.
They've been cooking.
They were the thing, and then they find themselves being the thing again. That was a really special class of NXT.
It really was. But so back to Drew. You won. You punched your ticket, as they say. But say you didn't win. Say, I know we don't ever like to think that way, but say you didn't win. Say for whatever reason something happened. The gods weren't looking on you that day. What was plan B? What is Cody Rhodes without WrestleMania?
Gosh, you think about the questions that you're going to get asked, and I wish I thought about a good answer for that question, but maybe that's really the answer in itself. I didn't have a plan B. In terms of, it becomes champagne problems when you start, you main event at WrestleMania. The first time I main event at WrestleMania, I didn't win, but I got the taste for it, and the idea and the goal becomes, I'm going to main event WrestleMania again, but I'm going to win this time. And the first Saturday. I didn't win, and finally Sunday in Philly I did. Again, the taste and the addiction to it becomes, well, I'm going to come right back to this spot when we come back to WrestleMania in Vegas. And this is John Cena, and he's going for the record. I'm not sure what plan B would have looked like. I know in my mind I would have considered it, not to use such a harsh term, I would have considered it a failure, but on my behalf. So maybe a failure on my behalf would have found me inspired or doing something different. I'm not sure. I really felt that I needed to get back to Vegas. And I also felt going back to back in the city where I got to hear them last year, the whole build between me and John on the way to WrestleMania 41 was really, I enjoyed it. It was very, the international crowds, and I felt like it felt very just normal wrestling in a sense. They're booing John, which was crazy, even in places that you would cheer him to start. And then they'd always give me this great reception. But I knew going into Vegas particularly, it was going to be a big time away game. I felt like all this work great, this is good, but we're going to get there and you could get booed out of the building. And I don't know, maybe I like the pain. Maybe I like the pain a little. It's like, hey, I'm gonna go back, see if they give me the same, you know, like, hey guys, I'm here again, you know.
Like you do have a slight taste for the punishment.
Yeah, I think there's just such a unique market, and plus I love Allegiant Stadium. It's such a great place to watch WrestleMania. Today I also went over a list of, we do this stuff with On Location now.
Yeah.
I went over a list of the things they have me doing. And they're just right up my alley. Like, they gave me things I like. People, they're going to come on and do a bus tour, which sounds ridiculous. But I feel like if you know me, I'm about it.
You're a bus guy.
I'm about sit down.
Yeah.
Let's talk about some 1993 wrestling. Just something that little kid who gets the bus tour is going to walk away with some unique knowledge of 90s WCW that he might not have wanted. There's that.
So not a Lex Express, but a little more elevated. Than
I mean, the Lex Express was, I think, perfect from the outside. I don't know if the Lex Express was actually clearly he was going to the live events in it, because, like Razor Ramon and all those guys finally got upset. And that's that time when the money wasn't necessarily rolling through. There's the bus tour, and then Wednesday I think we're gonna do something with cigars actually. At a really nice spot there where I did a cool magazine cover. So that's amazing. It's all stuff that is an easy yes.
No, that's
they might slip in a one in there that I don't like, but I'm excited for whoever gets to be part of those. Yeah, I didn't have a man. Like, thinking of it, I didn't have a plan B. And what here's a better question, because you guys love wrestling. What would have been the plan B? Who would I have wrestled?
I don't know. I was actually thinking about that.
Yeah, I mean, you want to go first, Tim?
I mean, I don't.
Put you on the spot while I think of one.
Maybe Sammy.
Jacob.
Yeah, maybe Sammy.
Jacob. I feel like
Could be Jacob, because we never finished.
Mm-hmm.
We just beat each other half to death in Montreal.
And you were all about finishing, sir.
Gotta finish.
You're all about finishing.
Yeah, you got to finish the story. And I like how people weaponize it. This is something that Sammy said to me. He's like, "You finished your story." I'm like, "Oh man, I don't like that wording." I mean,
you only mentioned it a few times.
Yeah, no. There's one that's like a real hard. I see it a lot when I'm like yelling it straight down the pipe on a SmackDown promo as well. It's wrestling. When something catches, you love it. But then you know how we do. Mm-hmm. We run it so hard into the ground, then it ceases to be catching anymore. Yeah. But we rock everything in wrestling till the wheels fall off.
Absolutely, as you should.
Sammy would have been special.
Sammy would have been cool.
Sammy would have been special.
I mean, you hold yourself at such a high, level in terms of like what you require of yourself, and like I think it would have to be someone that could meet that level of we need to make this happen. We need to make some magic, and off the top of my head, I wish he was here, but the last guy I saw that wasn't like one of the title contenders was Kevin Owens. Like I think you two on the main stage, you've faced each other before for sure, but there's something different about WrestleMania.
So that's the thing, man. That's a great point for anyone coming to Mania, or to those who are hardcore into this and have been for a long time. Mania, even if it's a match you've seen before, is almost always a first time ever match. And particularly now in WWE, it's that way, because athletically, everyone invests so much differently in their self and their presentation, and there isn't so much the grind from the road anymore, where it's very fresh. Mania. And I was saying to, no plan B, I was saying, well, that would have been a failure for me. I can say that now, but I would have given it everything I possibly could have given it, and I would remember the days when I couldn't even get on a WrestleMania. There was a Battle Royal in Orlando one year, the first time they did, I think it's Camping World, the stadium there. The first time they did it there, I was in the Battle Royal and we didn't even get to walk the ramp. We went side ramp.
Wow.
And
Really?
the disrespect.
So it wasn't even like the mass exodus.
Bro, the disrespect.
Wow.
Side ramp is one of my, you'll see me if you ever see a ref try to tell me side ramp, it's
Never again.
Bad taste.
I won't go.
Never
Unless I know somebody is immediately going to be walking down and I'm in the shot, I'm going to walk up the way I came in. It's one of my really weird quirks I have, or idiosyncrasies when it comes to wrestling. But yeah, I got to remember what it tasted like to not even be able to walk the ramp, be on a WrestleMania. And some of the people who will be on WrestleMania this year that you're seeing who have popped up on WWE TV, this is their first go round in front of the noise in the stadium for the event itself. I would have no plan B, but I would have considered myself lucky to be in any position on a show like this, and a show that means a lot to WWE, because there's a whole lot of discussion about going to Vegas twice and next year going to Saudi Arabia and what it may be. I feel like this WrestleMania has a great deal of importance for the future of what we're doing as a company, not just the guys a Roman, a Punk, and they're in a main event, myself and Randy and all, but the ones you don't know, the guys and girls who are making their first foray into the showcase of the Immortals.
Cody, every championship has a story. Every championship reign has a story, right? What story do you want to write with this one, this championship reign?
That's a great question. I remember coming out of Philadelphia, and I had it almost felt like a campaign. I had gone on Pat McAfee and talked about, I want to bring back the Winged Eagle. Got that for a brief glimmer of time, but got it. And I want to wrestle consistently, which was so great, because going into Lyon, France, I had AJ Styles, which was a wrestlers wrestling match, or however you'd look at it.
Absolutely.
Match.
Even at my experience level in sports entertainment, pro wrestling, however we look at it, I still haven't fully found who I am. And I'd like this to be the reign that defines who I am.
Really?
I heard a term that was said in a condescending fashion, but I didn't take it that way. I blushed. I heard someone say golden boy, and I loved it. I don't know if I was supposed to love it, especially with how they were saying it. But I thought, okay, maybe I'll lean into that. And maybe that's the identity of this reign. Maybe I'll lean into that, because I'm certainly out there in terms of output. And hopefully this is the one time I say it while talking to you guys, because otherwise it just becomes self-obsessed. But I'm outrunning everybody on the treadmill right now, even the guy who I consider my largest competition. If that's going to be the case, then I'll take this golden boy moniker. Let's see where it goes. I might even dial up my WrestleMania gear to lean into it further. Who knows? I know that's a bit vague in terms of answering your question, but I'd like this reign to give me an identity that perhaps I've been seeking, because every reign is different. I want to be a wrestler's wrestler. I want to be different. I don't want to be part-time. Oh, that's not so much the case anymore. Oh, hey, I want to beat the guy who was the angel on my shoulder as I was coming up in the industry, that being John Cena. And I want not just to be passed the torch, I want to have to take it. He did not even just take it from him. This one, TBD. To be determined. Yeah, till the next time we talk.
I guess
if I don't have an answer then, just
I guess to follow up with that question, do you ever feel like once you have a championship reign, do you ever feel 100% fulfilled? Like after, like say, like the first time?
No. And man, Brandy told me, I had one of those conversations that was like a real Rocky Adrian conversation. This was between WrestleMania 39 and 40. This might have been right around the time like all hell broke loose. And I remember telling her, I just want to do this. I just want this one thing. I just want this one thing. If I just get this one thing, I'll be good. And I mean, seconds later, she said, "Nah, you won't.
No,
You're not."
I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to go that
No,
way.
she
Like,
goes,
you can't beat him, Rock.
No, oh my gosh.
I was like, no.
It was more of a you knowing the nature of me that it would have created almost more of a monster in a sense of now I need to do this. And I don't know, maybe it's toxic or dated. We're similar in age, right?
Yeah.
And what about you?
I'm 29.
Okay, so no. No, but I wish we were.
Right.
But I don't know. The generation I came up with, it wasn't considered toxic. And then our parents' generation, it definitely wasn't considered toxic. Going for it until you have nothing left. I mean, absolutely. I live to work. I'm not a work to live type. And that's always going to be the case. So it's not that it doesn't feel great. It's not that you don't smell the roses, but I instantly, when these moments happen, I'm texting Greg Domino standing right over there. I'm texting Scalise and John Davis. I'm talking to Lee Fitting, of course, texting with Triple H. I won't, hey, thank you for the ball. What do we do now? How do we make this the greatest thing fans have ever seen? Stuff I'm not involved with. Can I make a suggestion? Just let me lean in more. I think I'm in a better mood when I have it. Makes life a little easier. My daughter likes it. So that's always
what counts.
the thing. Right. That's the one slowdown in my whole life. That's the positive slowdown. And I don't know in terms of, but for me, that is the realest part of my life. And Chris Van Vliet asked me a question that I still am like haunted over. He asked me years ago. It haunts me. He asked me, when are you not in character? And I thought I'm not in character as soon as the show's over. Yeah, I thought that. But upon kind of extrapolating, looking further into it, I realized, like, I don't know, man. I feel like I'm always on a cell. I'm always moved. But the one time that for sure I know I am not is when I see Liberty or my youngest daughter, Leilani. And that is the greatest slowdown that I have. That's something that I know I can't. This, I feel like, as huge as this is, I feel like I can grow beyond. That's a thing you can never grow beyond, so that's my one thing that can't get any better unless we have more kids.
I just had my first daughter born 3 weeks ago.
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you, man.
Yeah.
So I'm getting that feeling too.
Oh,
I'm
man.
like 3 weeks ago. So
are you sleeping?
Yeah.
Okay.
For the most part, for
Modern parents usually get some rest, right?
But
yeah,
definitely, it's like once she was born, it's like it's different now. I can understand. It's like wow, like you know what I mean. You have kids too, so
yeah. I got my 1-year-old.
Yeah. Well, people always say it changes your whole life, but the reality is, I think it just changes your perspective on.
Oh yeah.
For me, there's so much stuff that I used to get real, like angry about or frustrated over, and now it's my perspective is so different. That's why I'm doing any of this. It's way cooler when you're doing it for somebody else.
Yeah, it's almost not more fun, but you get the more I mean, you thought you were you felt gratification before, but this is like it's a
real gratification. And then you don't want to knock anyone who doesn't. You don't want to be that guy. Like when you talk to your friends who don't have kids, but then a lot of times you're looking at them like, why don't you have kids, man? You know, like where's
I have that conversation all the time. I'm like, when?
Yeah, I got one buddy who he's a kid at heart, and I keep thinking, man, you'd love this, man. This is what it's all about. But yeah, that changes such a perspective on everything. I said it after the Portland show. I knew I had to race to the airport, but I wanted to tell him I got such a great memory out of Portland, Oregon, which I did not have anything previously in Portland. I couldn't think of a time in Portland that I loved the show, or I couldn't just remember it at all. And now it's part of me with winning this for the third time, something that I never thought I'd win once. But that's what I told him after is, oh man, my youngest, even though she doesn't speak and won't know, will have that memory of going into Vegas with Papa being in a main event. So I feel like I felt that way about my dad. So did my sister Teal. Him being in the big moments and the big spots. There was such a sense of pride even at a young age. Like, oh yeah. I hope that they enjoy it. And thank gosh, today everything is on film and 65 photos of every second of your life are taken, you know. So I'm glad I'll have those memories with them. Yeah.
As you know, someone who I felt a lot of kinship with you even before we.
Yeah, Nepos,
started.
baby.
Yeah, man.
Nepos.
Yeah, you already know.
Yeah.
But
Stephanie McMahon, O'Shea, you. I mean, the wrestling world right now, they're just nepoed up.
Yeah. And
nerds took over the world for a minute. Now
did.
it feels like the nepo nerds are taking over the, you know.
Yeah, because you know we have the capability. You know, we have the power, so to speak. You know, to quote you, man.
Yeah,
but
strong, dude.
Yeah. But another.
Damn, I feel bad for those who don't, man. Like, dude.
we're getting heat on the second show already. But
we have the power.
But
that power, man.
Yeah.
But so another person who you could throw into that classification is your upcoming opponent at WrestleMania, and
big time.
Yeah. And he doesn't look like much of a baby anymore, but he is
so big.
He's ginormous lately.
Dude, I've tried not to think about. I'm waiting for Friday. This is the first time we're going to really be in the same ring addressing the idea that we're going into WrestleMania to main event it, and you're wrestling for the WWE Championship, and Randy's returning to the main event. I saw his interview he did on SmackDown, and I felt like, gosh, that's him. That's really who he is now.
Yeah.
Just so happy. This the ultimate husband, like the model dad. He's just happy to be back, and the crowd in love with him more than they've ever been. It's such great timing for Randy, but I also can't help but notice he's like 270 pounds. So my trainer, Brad, and the chef we use, her name is Jenny. We use all these like modern techniques now. You got the meal prep chef and you got the trainer. And then Dave Palumbo's in Vegas, who always writes out these diets. I don't know what to say when they're like, well, what are you looking at? You know, like, well, how you feeling? You know, I don't know, guys, if it's a matter of like, do we really want to carve out and lean up as much as we can? This guy's 270 pounds. That's a problem. And then you think about old school wrestling commentators when they'll be like, oh man, he really put on a lot of weight here for this one. Everybody's all puffed up. Yeah. I don't know. I don't even know what I mean, but I keep kind of wrestling with the idea that, I don't know, maybe we'll just bulk the whole way.
Why not?
The whole way. Just because Buddy is stacked.
He's stacked and he's cut. And I mean, everybody quotes.
Yeah.
Everybody quotes 09 Orton was the most dangerous, but he was nowhere near.
09 Voldemort. 09 Orton is the one who looked like Voldemort, right? Yeah. It was like he was skinnier, right? Yeah, he was skinny.
He did look like
Voldemort. He was bald, right?
Yeah.
I'm around 09 Randy, right?
Yeah.
Is 09 Randy the one who's
basically everybody says the most evil person that was ever
viral
created? You know, like 09 Orton.
Kissed Stephanie, he handcuffed Hunter.
Yeah.
He
punt kick.
Punt kicked John's dad.
Kick everybody.
Punt kicked me.
He was just a mean man.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you though.
I kind of would. I don't know if I want to wrestle 09 Voldemort Randy, or what would we call this modern Randy?
Well, I say he's like nice guy Randy.
Yeah, nice guy Randy, but he's freaking jacked.
But like that, you've known
Olympian level, you know.
You're so tied to him throughout your respective careers. You've pretty much seen almost every iteration that Randy has gone through. And you know, he's someone that, you know, you claim John's your angel on your shoulder. He may very well be the devil in your head,
buddy. You know, in the cartoons, you had the two. Yeah. That's them. Yeah. And the idea that I got to wrestle John in his final WrestleMania, and now I'm wrestling Randy a year later in the same stadium. I'm as difficult of a task as they are, as challenging as they are, because you're dealing with two of the absolute greatest to ever do it. I'm really lucky.
Yeah.
Right? I'm very lucky because I don't know how much longer Randy does it. He could literally do it for 10 more years. I'm not saying anything.
Easily.
He could, but I don't know how much longer he does it. I knew this was it for John. And I mean, me and him we had a chat just right over there when he came and did the podcast, but very much the angel and the devil, and they never changed places at any juncture. that one of the craziest things about Randy and my relationship was the dynamic shifted. I was such a huge fan of his, what he was doing as a third generation. I was just a huge fan of his presentation, everything in Evolution. I really always admired how Hunter talked about him, the coal that's going to be shaped into the next diamond, all that stuff. You could tell the wrestlers, the workers, that they liked him.
Yeah.
You could tell the fans had an appreciation for him, all that. But the dynamic shifted so early when I came up because he was a little bit more troubled in that period of time that I was up, and I ended up kind of being, babysitter isn't the right word, but
be on top of him,
be a person.
Yeah.
And the area where he never was troubled and no issue at all was how great of a teacher about wrestling he was.
Oh, I can imagine.
I think it's important for everyone who's got a sensei or a master or someone who trained them, you want to fight him eventually. And I fought him a few times, but you want him to see you. And I don't know, in all the times I've ever wrestled Randy, even at King of the Ring, I don't know if I've ever wrestled him and had him look across the ring and see me. And I think for this year, for WrestleMania 42, main event, Allegiant Stadium, I hope he sees not just the person he helped get ready, and the person he helped groom for the industry and train, whether I liked it or not, and the person he helped guide, but also the person who's there to beat him. And that's a tough order. It's in that stadium, acoustically, somebody going for 15. The first story at a wrestling school they teach you, because everyone's like, what's the story of this match? And not about this one, but in general, just a great lesson always is you're trying to win, you're trying not to lose. And I think Randy are two guys who are very much wanting to leave Allegiant Stadium as WWE champion. Me for the reasons I just said, and him for 15 to stay in the conversation he's in. Who knows what his reasons are. But yeah, that makes for a very dynamic matchup.
Do you feel like you have the upper hand, being that he mentored you throughout, during that time when you was with Legacy and stuff? Do you feel like you have the upper hand in this match?
I would say I have the upper hand, not because he's the person who trained me. I'd say I have the upper hand just because I'm right in the thick of the prime of my career. I'm not saying he's not, but I feel like I'm tapping in every time I'm out there into something that I didn't know I could do or challenge myself to, and this is just in ring alone. I always would say the WWE Championship, this is no disrespect to my friend CM Punk and the World Championship. It's no disrespect to any title in any company, but the WWE Championship has always been, to me, the best wrestler in the world. And I think Randy has to ask himself, are you the best wrestler in the world? And if the answer is no, then again, I feel like I do have the upper hand. I don't think he taught me so much that he doesn't have his own aces up his sleeve or secrets, but I think chip on the shoulder size going into this, which is two guys who probably don't need to have a chip on their shoulder, but both do. I think mine's just a little bigger.
So the energy that I love that the company brings whenever it's every WrestleMania is they go in saying, this is going to be the greatest WrestleMania yet.
That's what it tries to do.
Every single year, which is great, which is what you should do. And, people have their opinions on whether or not they succeeded every year, and people have their favorites and they're not so favorites. But this in particular, this upcoming one, you're back at Allegiant Stadium again. You're the champion. There's 2 nights of this. And why should people come this year specifically more than ever?
Oh my gosh. I want to give you an answer that doesn't sound terrible when we look back at this and it's clickbaited all up. I could just tell you simply because it's WrestleMania, but you know what that means and you know what that means. But I said something that I don't love how it came out, but what I meant is I said, I think we're sitting on a sleeper mania. And I said this like a month ago. What I meant was because a 10-year mania like 40, you always feel this sense of, destiny or there's something that about that 10-year moment. This year, the matches, we had our main event with CM Punk and Roman Reigns, and now we just got to myself versus Randy Orton as the other main event at WrestleMania. The matches that are coming together, Stephanie and Liv, what clearly looks like Jacob might be doing. You talked about Sammy. I think you're looking at a bell-to-bell Mania, that's the best it's been. A bell-to-bell wrestling, good. The type of stuff I grew up on, wrestling, bell to bell, and for people who come for all the grandeur and the spectacle that is WrestleMania, that's all there too. I feel like I saw some names on a sheet of some potential guests that is really, really exciting for a WrestleMania for me particularly. But yeah, bell to bell, I think they're going to get one of the better Manias, if not the best Mania of all time. And in addition to that, the community of, and not to sound sappy, the community that is WWE. I always ask people at the end of the night, is this your first show? You know, and so many people raise their hands, or young kids. The community that is WWE is growing up together. Again, we talked about like the on-location stuff, but not just that. WWE World and everything that happens all week. What a better place to do it than Vegas, right? Like just a good time. It's spread over 2 nights, so you're not sitting there for 7 hours.
Ooh, I've been
God bless. I've been on those shows. You try your best, but it's every single fan should have something that they enjoy about WWE when they leave Vegas, and that's for those fans who have never been before. And I bet you in your fold you've got people who are coming who have never been before. The thing they might like is something that you least expect. But that's the beauty of what we do. And not to put another exclamation point on this point, but I'd watch this WrestleMania for, I don't want to say the kids because I don't want to sound condescending, but I'd watch this WrestleMania for the potentials of a Javon, for the potentials of a Oba, for the potentials of a Kit Wilson, for the potentials of guys who hopefully, and girls, are sitting here in this chair between you two guys 10 years from now talking about main eventing a WrestleMania.
Stakes are higher.
Yeah.
Stakes are higher in this one.
Very much so. Live rounds, and that's such a great way to put it. Just ask me the question again.
Why should people come to this WrestleMania, Cody Rhodes?
People should come to WrestleMania 42 because more than ever, the stakes are higher.
Boom.
Did it, man.
We're ready.
Thank you.
We're
Thank
ready.
you.
I got
It was all in there, though.
I think we both got one more,
Ready?
if that's all right.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Because I got a fun one, but I'll let Tim.
Yeah,
we got a fan question, right? I'm gonna take it out.
I saw you on the gram.
Yeah.
Do people your age still say the gram?
Instagram.
It's not lame that I said it? Okay.
The gram, IG.
I've lost the plot years ago.
So we got Whistle Hunter 6. He said,
Dangerous name.
right?
Okay.
My question, Cody, when you retire, what would you like your legacy to be for the WWE locker room and the wrestling business itself?
Great question. I've said this before, but my whole goal, especially after I left WWE the first time, and when I was away and coming back, it was even more multiplied. I would like to be the one of my generation that has done the most for pro wrestling. And I don't mean that as a knock to anybody who's out there doing great things for pro wrestling and sports entertainment, WWE. I just would like to be the one who's done the most. I'd like to contribute the most. I look back at what my dad did. I'm very sensitive, as you probably are aware, to when misinformation gets out there, or narratives or false stories, because I saw that happen to my dad in an era you couldn't protect yourself from it. It just became the truth. Today, I'm quick to correct. Because I do not want to wait till I'm dead for people to go, oh yeah, he did come up with that. He did bring us that. He did keep his word. And maybe at the end of the day, a better way to put it is I'd like to keep my word. And that my word is I'd like to do the most I can for wrestling because it's done everything for me.
Beautiful.
And I'm gonna go into business a little bit myself. Because this is what I want to know personally.
Go into business for yourself.
So Hollywood, as most with all the people in your position, has come calling. You've had your appearance in Naked Gun. And now, which I think I didn't know originally, but it was the role you were born to play, which is you are now Colonel Guile in the upcoming Street Fighter movie. And first off, it's a two-parter. One, how did you embody that character? How is this Guile, other than the accent, going to be different than the Jean-Claude Van Damme Guile, and the hair, of course? And how are you going to, you don't seem to be going anywhere. Like every other person who's entered Hollywood in your position was near the twilight of their career, their main active career. how are you gonna, I mean, this isn't going to be the last time, and I know you have acting experience from when you were younger, and
Yeah.
like, how is this going to really like, how's this going to be, how are you going to juggle it, essentially, is what I'm wondering.
Well, I do consider myself a master juggler. The really bright side of the question is WWE now is run by Nick Khan and Triple H. And Nick Khan knows the value of the Street Fighter IP, knows the value of, hey, you know, I don't think it's breaking news. I heard my opponent, side plate, I heard he's going to be part of Highlander.
Yeah.
These are great for WWE. They're great for the fans. They're great for us when we grew up with it, and then you see like, oh, look, it's Batista, and he's getting the biggest laughs in the theater, which is like, as a wrestling fan, yes, he did it. I think it will all work out in a sense. I owe WWE, especially when you have this, you owe everything to WWE minus perhaps your soul, but sometimes that gets brought into question too. But I think I'll be able to balance as you said, they've come a call in, and I really appreciate everyone there. You know, Brad Slater and WME and everyone appreciate that direction for sure. I hope people really enjoy Guile. I don't want to give too much away, and then the Capcom Cup is happening right now, for example. I don't want anyone who loves this game to take something I said and think. I want them just to watch what Katao Sakurai has put together with this movie.
Great guy.
Oh my gosh,
Great guy.
man. Gave me an added scene.
Yeah.
Just because we were having such a good time.
Yeah.
I said in an interview that it was a little bit of Chet. Was it Chet from Revenge of the Nerds?
Chet was, I think so.
Or Weird Science. Chet
was from Weird Science.
Chet from Weird Science. And like a little bit of Ron Swanson. I am the most pro-American guy ever. It sometimes gets skewed into a political thing, and that's not the case. I just love everything about the USA. I'm a sucker for it. I was born to play Guile. I was, especially when it comes to the tournament itself, which I feel like Guile might take umbrage with how the tournament comes together. He's a guy with a claw. They're letting him rock. One dude's green. You know, people got psycho powers. I'm just, you know, you're an Air Force colonel one day, and your hair's made that way because you went mock something.
This guy's doing yoga.
Yeah, this guy's stretching across the room. That guy's the Zangief probably was a 60-pound baby. You know, at this point, he might take umbrage with the tournament, but I had so much fun on that movie that I am really excited for people to see it. And I loved the original. I know, like, I loved it then, though. My dad took me to that movie, and yeah, it's hard to understand Jean-Claude Van Damme, but also, dude is swinging in the final fight.
Yeah.
He is swinging, because it was really important to me when the flash kick. There's people who, frame by frame, who love Capcom are watching these animations. I cannot be the one jerk who screws this up. So I'm just sitting there watching everything and trying to get it right. But he did his own special job.
Yeah,
on that
I mean,
movie.
performance of a lifetime from Raul Julia.
That's the other thing. For me, it was Tuesday, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Oh my gosh. But this movie also, because you've got such fun people in it. And I'm sorry, I've gone on forever here, but you got 50 Cent. You've got Momoa. You have Roman Reigns.
Crazy cast.
You have Andrew Schultz. Orville Peck is, oh my gosh, special. But Noah, Koji, and Kalina, Ryu, Chun-Li, and Ken, a heartbeat of the movie, and their performances make it so that the rest of us can have a dang good time around it. They led that franchise. I mean, and hopefully it becomes a franchise. It already is elsewhere, but they led that, and I was proud to like stand shoulder to shoulder with them. Plus Kale, if you ever meet Kale, the producer Kale, he's a nut. Awesome. I hope I get to do more work with him, but it was really cool. October next year, you might be seeing some news about it sooner than later, but I hope fans love it. Street Fighter fans, of course, are going to be well honored by it.
I mean, it does pop me that there's 3 wrestlers in the movie, and
I know, right?
and none of
You got 50 Cent
and none of them are Zangief, like the actual wrestlers.
Buddy, they would say things too. They'd be like, "All right, he's gonna do a German suplex," or this is like the spinning. They're talking about the spinning pile driver, and I'm not trying to spoil anything. I don't know if these things were in there, but they're talking about them in the stunt room all day, and that was fun to hear. Also, it's fun that they trained me basically to get into a real fight, which to this day I don't know why they trained us so hard. Maybe because they thought we couldn't do it, but I felt like I would walk out of there like, oh, man, I can win this bar fight now. Like, I'm ready. But yeah, no, they did a great job. You'll love everybody on it, even Andrew Schultz. God bless him.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, Cody, you satisfied my nerd questions, and I think everybody else at home's questions. So I really appreciate you joining us and letting us into your house, so to speak.
No, thanks for making the trip.
No, we would. When Cody Rhodes calls, you answer.
Who's episode number 3?
We we like to keep it a surprise.
Yeah.
That's take that as you may.
Yeah.
So, but you'll hear about it. And
Good. All right.
And we'll we have tall order to fill. We had the former Undisputed Champion, and then we had the current champion now. So I mean, do we keep the ball rolling with champions, or do it like we got to see how well the.
It's a good call. Keep the ball rolling with champions. There are a lot of hardware out there.
Yeah, there
a lot of hardware.
In here.
Well, you guys have to go on. Oh my gosh, he's a blast. Have you talked to him before?
I spoke to him. I met him before. When he was in the Indies.
One of my favorite people to talk to. No clue what we're saying to each other. I met his daughter at the Hall of Fame last year. He's such that's my. Again, if you're thinking about who I would book, who I'd want, I'm like, oh my gosh, he'd be my Muda. He's just he's just the best, man.
Really?
I love me some Penta and Phoenix.
Well, we wish you the best of luck in Las Vegas, WrestleMania 42.
Thank you.
And you definitely have your you're gonna need your working boots. That's for sure.
Yeah,
and,
no,
adrenaline gonna be in your soul, man.
I need an extra tank of it,
And we appreciate your time, and I think that's it for Cody. Yeah,
Yes,
so thank you so much for joining us, man.
What are we doing? Yeah, we got it. Thank you. You guys have to come on the podcast. I don't know if it conflicts at all, but come on.
I don't know. I'll make sure. I can tell you.
Nothing really conflicts anymore.
I can tell you right now, as someone who has some swipe in this company, it does not.
There you go. Yeah, come on the podcast, man.
So great. And Cody, you couldn't have been better. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And you're a busy man, so we'll keep it.
No, I have to get up.
Oh, we have to. No, you don't have to get.
Do I get up?
No, but we've never done a live one in person before, so we're playing.
Have you ever watched the Bill? Was it Bill Maher? The F It, We'll Do It Live.
Yeah.
Have you watched the full clip?
Yes.
It's wild to see.
It makes it better.
Gotta do that.
All right, so we're gonna do an outro. So you could leave, you could stay. We're gonna talk about.
I'll leave when you hit this outro.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
This is all happening real time. Everyone's seeing this, right?
Yeah.
Do it live.
Do it live, man.
Once again, this is Complex Graps. I'm Jamie. This is Tim. This is the American Nightmare Undisputed Champion, Cody Rhodes. Thank you so much. Once again, you can see this on Complex. View the episode, buy the shirts. We work really hard on doing this Complex WWE stuff, so please get them on Complex or WWE Shop. Of course, I think they do fairly well over there. And next week, as always, we're starting this new trend that we're going to have, which is answering fan questions that Tim has been working so hard to get going.
Ask the questions, next guest. I'm going to post a video, drop it in the comments, and you never know who's going to answer your question, man. Shout out to Complex. Shout out to Cody Rhodes, man. Shout out to Nightmare Factory, man. We lit, man. Make some noise, man.
There it is. Oh. Thanks, boys.
Lit, man.
Thank you. Enjoy.
Perfect.
All right. And so that was an incredible episode. I mean, do we wrap it there? I mean, there was other stuff to talk about, but I guess we could just I guess how could we top that?
That was perfect.
Everybody, thank you so much for watching at home, and we'll see you next week.